must be sleeping under a rock or something.
Alright, what's up, everybody? This is Devin Alexander. I'm back in the house yet again for the Slave to Wrestling podcast. I know it's been a couple days since we did an episode, but it was also a holiday weekend. You feel me? I got kids, so that means that I was doing Labor Day festivities and having a wonderful time doing it. So happy Labor Day belated to everybody out there that actually has a job. If you ain't got no job, you get nothing but a lump of coal. So, on this show, we're about to talk about the week that was. It's crazy. A week ago, we were talking about Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk, and here we are this week. SmackDown was cool. You know, Rampage was cool. Collision was dope. I liked All Out. Really liked WWE Payback. Raw wasn't bad. And we're gonna get into this CM Punk drama.
I wanted to start off with the good and bad from fucking SmackDown, but let's just go straight to Collision and how much of a little bitch Tony Khan sounds.
Oh my god, bro.
This is what I gotta say. From the way that he was talking, he made it sound like this man was back there with a baseball bat threatening everybody's life, or like that one movie where was it the movie The Fan, where that guy had the assault rifle and wanted to kill his favorite baseball player or whatever. Remember that?
Bro, you took it way back with that shit.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like he was acting like CM Punk was walking around with a fucking handgun or some shit back there, when he just gungoozled some little punk that thinks he knows something about the wrestling business because he's saying crap into the damn monitor.
Oh my god. Bruh, I don't know what to really think about the whole situation. I guess I say that because, like, I understand there's a lot of heat on Punk and stuff, and I understand that, like, I mean, I get it. Like, I totally understand, but I feel like things should have been handled last year.
Well, you're gonna fire the guy that... Okay, so you're not gonna do nothing to the EV chumps that break into somebody's locker room, literally try to start a fist fight with a guy, get their asses whipped, and then you're not going to do nothing to them, and then you're going to send little Jack Queefy
Oh, wow.
in to pretty much finish the job, because obviously you know that whole entire situation about the glass, that was, you know, something that they told him back in Collision that they weren't going to do. And he wasn't listening, so they, pretty much told Punk to go tell the chump to knock it the fuck off?
Yeah, man, they did. And that's why I don't really understand why he got fired. Like, I feel like he was set up. Like, I feel like I'm a Punk fan, I guess.
I feel like Tony Khan doesn't know how to run a company.
I feel like the EVPs are the ones who decided, because they talk about this special, what was it, the special commission or the special investigation team that we've never heard of before, that seemed to be created specifically for this situation. And then, I mean, it's a giant clusterfuck. Like, that's all that can really be said about it. And the best part about it was, if you guys listen to other shows, when Cornette played, you know, the commentary from Tony Khan talking about he'd fired CM Punk, and to hear him laughing in the middle of it was just, it was the icing on the cake for me. So
it was just, it is just, what I want to say, just just ridiculous what these companies are doing these days. It's just ridiculous all the way around. Like, I have no idea what. Obviously, let's just say this. This is the reason why WWE quit giving huge contracts out.
Yeah.
Because they figured out what AEW is actually all about.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, yes, it is another promotion. Yes, it is on national televised TV.
Mm-hmm.
But they do not have the streak that WCW had, or even close to ECW back then. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. And I mean, I do like some of the product that AEW puts out, but they have no idea what the hell they're doing. Let's just be honest.
That's why you don't get backyard wrestlers to run a real wrestling promotion. But hey, what do I know? So.
That sign that was at All Out was the perfect sign to sum up that entire situation.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God.
And then you got him just standing there and looking like a terrified child. Like he doesn't know what to do or what to say.
That's because he was in fear for his life. So you know what? I'm gonna reach out to a promoter friend of mine and I'm gonna ask him personally if he's ever feared for his life during a backstage altercation. I'm actually gonna ask him right now while we're doing the show. I'm pretty sure you have a general idea who it is there, sir.
Yes, I do. Well, my biggest thing about it all was when he even went out and did that little speech or the statement. It took him 6 minutes to get through it. 6 minutes instead of just reading it on a prompter or some cards, something like that. He sat there for 6 minutes and got booed by the crowd in Chicago and tried to justify it to the crowd. Like he was trying to justify
to the crowd
to his parents.
In Chicago, of all places. You know what I mean? Like, so you're gonna fire Chicago's favorite wrestler, and then try to go out in front of a rabid crowd and justify the firing less than 24 hours later.
And do it awkwardly. Not even like no bass in your voice. Not sound like Vince McMahon or even close to Shane McMahon. Or even close to Eric Bischoff. Or even we'll go to Cornette's favorite person. Yo, bro. Yeah, bro. You know, bro. We'll even go there. Like, he even had more bass in his voice when he talked than Tony Khan does.
Oh, God. He managed to make himself sound like a glizzy gobbler, and that's.
Who knows? He could. He's with the elite.
I mean, I don't know, bro.
They all wrestled in what was that? DTT or DDT in Japan?
Oh yeah.
They all wrestled there.
Yeah, they sure did. I'll be a brass monkey's uncle. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But then now there's more things coming out about CM Punk. If you've seen some of the stuff talking about when he was working for FS1 for the WWE backstage, and he was having issues with some of the talent there.
I'm not surprised about that shit. It just seems like it follows him wherever he goes.
Kind of, and let's say this. I think Mark Henry said it the best on one of the podcasts that he was on. He said, if Punk was truly the problem and they have solved it, they should not have any more backstage issues like this at all. Correct?
Correct.
Would you assume so?
Yeah.
If he was the cancer?
Yeah, but yeah, you would think they wouldn't. You would think they wouldn't have any more backstage issues, but.
Well, you would, but then you got to take into consideration who is really running the company, and we definitely know it's not Tony Khan. We know that the inmates run the asylum. We can tell by a majority of the matches. Let's just say that in general. I think the only ones that really have a real storyline, and I've been saying this for a long time now, the only ones in AEW that have actually had a consistent storyline has been MJF and Adam Cole.
Yeah, this is very true. I don't know, man. I really find it quite ironic that they considered the last week the best week in AEW history, and yeah, they sold more tickets than any wrestling show, but I'll argue that London hasn't had a significant wrestling show of any kind in quite a long time. And I feel like anybody could have sold that crap out regardless of who it was, because
I think Impact could have sold it out.
Yeah, because they're thirsty for wrestling and it's art. They're thirsty for a big time event, and it didn't matter who came, AEW came first. If WWE had gone, if WWE ran WrestleMania over there, they're selling it out.
They're gonna run it 2 days in a row and sell it out both days. Watch.
Right. So that's why I'm like, well, I mean, that's great. But, I just think it's great for business. It's wonderful for business, but.
No, it's great for business. But the funniest thing about it all is that they sold 81,035 tickets, something like that, and the CM Punk firing news takes over in any accomplishment that they just accomplished.
Right, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, and like you said, with not even the EVPs, we'll just talk about Tony in general. Him, just the way that he handles situations, he doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing. He looks like he's the guy that would sit there with action figures and have The Rock and Stone Cold wrestle each other in a toy ring. You know what I mean? That's what kind of perception Tony gives off.
It's LA Knight's game. Yeah.
Yeah, he sure does. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I'd be like, he reminds me of myself if I had $1 billion and was a huge mark. And that's exactly what this is. Like, I don't have any idea how to run a wrestling company, you know what I mean? And just to think that just because I have $1 billion and that I watched WWF on Saturday morning TV when I was growing up, that means that I know anything about running a professional wrestling business. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean shit. And that's exactly how I feel about this entire situation. I literally just feel like, he's just a big ass nerd to watch that shit like we all did, who just happens to be rich and can sign all his favorite wrestlers to his own freaking promotion. And, oh, look, I'm playing with my freaking action figures, Dad.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it comes off as almost with majority of these matches, because, I mean, yes, it is hard to come up with unique storylines. I will say that. It is.
It is, because so much stuff has already been done. I mean, think about it. Like, there's so much shit that's been done. We've seen it all. Like, it's tough.
It's hard to come up with unique storylines. I get that. But if you have the talent and you have the characters, you can do it. And with him, it just seems like with 90% of wrestling these days, exception to the Judgment Day and maybe the Bloodline story, but that's gotten stale itself.
Not yet.
Nothing. It's getting there. And it's one of those things where, like, you get rid of your biggest star. You don't know where your direction's going now because now Collision is out. Pretty much that was Punk's show. We all knew that as fans, and everyone knew this. Everyone did. Everyone. So it's going to be interesting to see the direction where Collision goes, where all we're looking for as fans is decent wrestling shows to watch.
I totally feel that. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, speaking on pure speculation here, I feel like it just opens the door for him to make a Survivor Series debut. Now, rumor has it he does have a compete clause. I saw that on Kevin Nash's podcast earlier today, that there's a possibility of a compete clause. So I'm trying to figure out if that's
a non-complete clause for like a year or something like that. They were saying,
which is insane. Like, you fired the guy, so now you can't make money for a year. Like, God. And see, that's the type of stuff where I'm like, and he's not young, like.
No, he's not a young guy at all. I mean, he has to make his money some way, and he has to make it sometime and soon. But at the same time, does WWE even want to work with CM Punk anymore? I mean, the fans might want it, yes, but does WWE want it at the same time?
It's a liability, to say the least. It really is. You have to think about you'd have to do a risk assessment on that whole thing. So, does the risk outweigh the reward, or does the reward outweigh the risk? And that's kind of, I guess, their decision on what they're going to do about that. So.
Yes, and there was rumors of last year in December they were saying that he wanted to come back at the Royal Rumble after that one skirmish happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like it's totally out of the picture, but at the same time, it is just a weird time in wrestling. Just because egos are so fragile and people are obviously scared. But let's try to talk about a little bit of a brighter note. Let's go over what we did like about both pay-per-views at Payback and All Out. What we thought was good, what we thought was bad, and what we thought they could always improve on. Which I always know both promotions can improve in areas. The one thing that I did like, but it didn't really make any sense, was that the Judgment Day won the tag team titles. I did like that, but at the same time, it kind of left me wondering, where do we go from this with Damian Priest still holding the Money in the Bank? Where does it leave Sammy and Kevin Owens right now? Them not having a title, which I thought they said something about maybe Owens having surgery, but I wasn't sure. I'm not absolutely positive on that.
So KO has been working with some cracked ribs for a while, and he's been putting the surgery off and putting the surgery off and putting the surgery off, and he took the titles off of them so he could go ahead and get surgery on the cracked ribs because he can't put it off anymore. So this is going to be Sammy on TV. So with Jay coming over and with Cody being involved, there could be a lot of things going on with that, so we'll have to wait and see how that love triangle plays out. Now with the Judgment Day on their end, it just makes them look like a dominant faction right now. They've got a lot of gold. They got money in the bank. You know, we'll say that the tag titles has patched up the rift between Damian Priest and Finn Balor for now. In the interim, I feel like eventually Priest is going to cash in, possibly win a title at WrestleMania, and then him and Balor are going to fight over the title. That's just me, pure speculation. So.
I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I didn't like is, like you said, Jey Uso coming to Raw and the way they kind of went about it.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I really wasn't too excited about that. But with them saying Monday night that someone from Raw's being traded to SmackDown for compensation, it kind of makes sense now, which I think 95 or to 99% of us think that it's all going to be Cody going to SmackDown to obviously challenge Roman for the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
which
that would make
I
sense.
believe would happen. But it also makes the Jimmy and Jay situation a little more interesting also. And are they going to end up doing, instead of doing Jimmy versus Jay, are they going to have Team Jimmy versus Team Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Team Rock versus Team Stone Cold, or Team Angle versus Team, you know what I mean?
That could be cool. I'd be down with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that'd be pretty awesome. There's a lot of scenarios that could play out. So I'm pretty excited to see what the future holds for these situations.
Same, especially on the WWE end. Now, the AEW end, I think the only thing that I'm kind of looking forward to is maybe Jade Cargill coming back.
Yeah.
And maybe challenging Chris Statlander for the TBS title.
Rematch
Because, there's only been 2 people that held the title, obviously.
Yeah.
So, that could be something. And then I did like the way Toni Storm has been presenting herself more on AEW with the paranoid, you can't trust, Ruby can't trust, Soraya. I'm enjoying her character build a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I am enjoying MJF's babyface run as tag team champions with Adam Cole. I am enjoying that to a point, but at the same time, MJF is the perfect heel.
Yeah.
And let's just say this. Right now, he can get a pop from doing anything.
Right.
From doing the stance of the kangaroo kick all the way to yelling the double clothesline. He gets a pop for any little thing he does, which is, I think, is magnificent. Mm-hmm. Just because I liked MJF since I've first seen the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going into, let's say this, I kind of enjoying, but getting, and it's not the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, I just think it's the trios titles in general. I have never really been a huge fan of trios matches like that all the time. I've never really been a super big guy on that.
No, I feel like the 3 belts is kind of a stretch. Personally, I always kind of have. I've never been a huge fan of that either, so I totally get that.
Yeah, and I like how they have. I understand having the best faction. I understand that. That's the reason why the Judgment Day has so many different titles, and at that one point in time, the Bloodline had both WWE titles and the tag team titles, and you know what I mean. Like, I understood all of that, but when it comes to just having trios titles and you have to be a trio all the time, it just kind of gets NWO-ish, I want to say.
Right.
All the time, you know what I mean? And that's the reason why I like it when, so like, I'm not a huge fan I'm not a huge fan, but I am a fan of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and I do like it when they do the trios matches once in a great while, but when they do them every week like that, it gets played out, and that's just the way that I feel about that.
Yeah, dude. I always felt like 6-man tag matches were a special attraction, or to help keep a feud going without someone looking weak, or that they were, they're more of a tool than, something that should be used week in and week out.
Exactly. And this is the way that I've always felt about the 6-man tags or 9-man tags or whatever they have, you know what I mean? But I do like, I am excited about the tournament coming up for Grand Slam for AEW, because I do like how they have the little tournament to see who's going to wrestle, obviously the heavyweight champion, which is MJF still right now at this point in time, at Grand Slam. So I do enjoy that they have a little bit of different storylines with it than just having two people feuding all the time. So like here it's kind of like, well, let's figure out who's the best in the tournament. You know what I mean? Kind of like the invitational that they're doing on NXT for the, what is it, the Global Heritage Invitational? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so like I do like how they have some things that are out of the box that are the norm that we see every week, the normal soap opera drama. Sorry, my tongue is still a little messed up, so my enunciation sucks on some words. But and let's just say this, we'll go back to, I'm going to go back to WWE, because I'll have to say I think everyone will agree with me that the number one babyface right now on SmackDown is everybody's favorite guy, got everybody saying L.A. Knight, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he is the biggest babyface right now on SmackDown. And it is a shame that he still doesn't have the U.S. title, because they handed it to Rey Mysterio for some odd-ass reason.
I think Rey Mysterio is about to disappear here soon, but,
I think that's maybe the reason why they gave him the title, is because they're getting ready for that one last feud that he's gonna have with Santos. Yeah, I think they're getting ready for that, because I think they're gonna get ready for LWO little flip, which they never really. I understand why they did the LWO for the Puerto Rico show, and I don't know. It's just they never really ran it as a real faction, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And it kind of just seemed like they wanted to make some money off of Eddie real quick, so they just were like, oh, let's do the LWO real quick and let's make some money doing this. So it was just kind of one of those things where that's how I fucking felt how that went really fucking fast, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I mean, I don't know. That's just we all see how dollars work once in a while, and we all see how what people like to bring back. Like everybody likes it when the NWO comes back, or when they bring Degeneration X back for one night. I mean,
right.
It's our nostalgia, you know what I mean? But the thing that I don't think that WWE realizes or ever will realize is that Rey Mysterio was never part of the original LWO.
No, he wasn't. That's when I think when the LWO was around, I think that's when he was doing a 3-count bit.
I think, yeah, because I think he was, I don't even think he had his mask on at that time.
No, he didn't, so it was weird. Like, that was that weird Rey Mysterio period. Like,
yeah, they were trying to, Kevin Nash and them were trying to get him to do something different, and I don't remember what it was, but they all said that they all had a little part in that because they wanted him to show his face and get away from the luchador, be more American style, you know what I mean? With the, obviously with you're not wearing the mask and showing your face and blah, 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 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always say kudos on WWE for not making him ever take his mask off in a WWE. That happened under WCW's watch, so I feel like, they at least respected the Lucha Libre style by doing that, and so I greatly appreciate that.
Yes, I have to agree with you on that too, because, when they did that, I did not care for that at all. And then when they had, what was it? It was on All Out. The match with fucking Mox and Cassidy, the main event.
That was a good ass match.
That actually was a really good ass match.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't, how I want to say, it wasn't so chaotic that you didn't know what the hell was going. You didn't know. It's not like you didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? It wasn't so chaotic that, like that Stadium Stampede match that made no damn sense.
Yeah, yeah, that was ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure did. That was ridiculous.
Because that match, right, it made sense to a point. And I'll have to say, him dropping the title to Mox the way that he did, I think that was a very good thing all the way around, because everyone knows that Mox sells majority of the merchandise there.
Right.
The kids may like Orange Cassidy, but numbers-wise, with men that are 18 to 40, they're probably buying John Moxley merchandise and MJF and what's the other guy? It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember the name now.
Oh my god.
So we'll get back to him.
Oh my god.
We'll get back to him later.
Oh my god. You talking about Adam Cole, weirdo?
No, not because Adam Cole. That was part of with the MJF, because that's the Better Than You Baby stuff that's selling really hot right now.
It is hot right now.
It was the one that we were talking about earlier, CM Punk. Don't ask me how I forgot his fucking name. I think I was trying to call him Phil Brooks. I think that's the reason why. I was trying to call him by his legal name and not his performance name. So. Good old Phil. Good old Pepsi Phil. But it's just one of those things where your merchandise sales are going to go down now. A lot of things are going to go. You got to come up with something really fast, because everything that you just accomplished 2 weeks ago has been overshadowed within a week.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. Like, it's something else. Like, it's the contrast from one week to the next is just, it's unreal. Like, and then people are talking about they're never watching again because CM Punk was fired, and I thought this was a professional company. They're so unprofessional, and I mean, it's been.
Well, and that's the reason why I brought up they're gonna let 2 guys break into. They're gonna let 3 guys Or was it 4? Okay, because I remember Omega and the Bucks. I don't know if
Hangman.
Hangnail.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if Hangnail was in there, was part of it either. But they're gonna have those 4 literally break into somebody's, barge into their locker room and try to start a fight, and not do nothing to them.
Right.
Suspend them for what? Strip them of the titles and suspend them for 3 weeks.
Right.
Is what happened to them.
Pretty much, right.
And then you're gonna have a little jack off come in. That's definitely a mid-carder. Will be never more than a mid-carder. He can think he's a main eventer, but he never will be a true main eventer. You know what I mean?
I know, right?
It's the truth. Like, I don't think he'll ever be a real true main eventer. And he's going to get gungoozled by the fucking neck by Punk, and then Tony Khan's in fear of his life.
I know, right? Like, that's just unreal, bro. I was just like, dude.
Do you have that audio?
I can pull it up. It shouldn't be too hard to find.
You can pull that up so our listeners know
exactly what
we're actually talking about when we talk about this.
If you didn't hear that shit, you need to hear it.
Yes, if you guys hear it for your own sake, then you will understand why we laugh so damn hard. And especially about a guy that is, almost 50 years old? And, yeah, that is just hilarious.
We're gonna actually go ahead and play that little clip for you right now. We're gonna take a hot break and hear a clip, and then we're gonna come right back.
Today I had to make one of the toughest decisions of my professional career. Today I terminated Phil Brooks, CM Punk, for cause. This stems from a backstage incident at AEW All In last Sunday. The incident was regrettable, and it endangered people backstage. That includes the production staff, the people who help put the show on every week, innocent people who had nothing to do with it. I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. I've been producing them on this network for nearly 4 years. Never in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday, that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show. I don't think anybody should feel that way at work. I don't think the people I work with should feel that way. And I had to make a very difficult choice today. It came at the recommendation of a discipline committee here in AEW, as well as outside legal counsel, who delivered a unanimous recommendation. And I have followed up on that recommendation. I'm sorry to any fans who are upset by this. I'm sorry to anyone who's upset by this. Despite that, we're going to have a great show tonight on Collision, and we're going to have a great AEW All Out pay-per-view tomorrow here in Chicago. Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week in AEW history. We're going to continue the great momentum here tonight on Collision and tomorrow night on All Out pay-per-view. Let's take a
sibling after I smack them.
Hell no. Alright, what's up, everybody? That clip we just played was a grown man tucking his tail between his legs and shit. God, like, jeez.
Oh, first off, he just walks out and they just start booing.
Boo! Boo, nigga.
He sits fucking down. He sits down. And he sits and he talks and he just rumbles and rambles in fucking circles about firing CM Punk. And it is just the fucking funniest shit in the world.
It's because he's a fucking chicken. God. He's like the giant chicken from fucking Family Guy, except he doesn't fight.
Oh, God. It's just, he is, like, if he never wanted to make himself look pathetic, like, he accomplished it there.
Pathetic.
Like, even if he wasn't trying to, he accomplished it there. Like, what grown man is going to be afraid of another grown man about being told something?
Apparently him, shit. Honey glazed nigga.
My God, like, he didn't even stand up for himself. Like, how can I put it? Like, he just sat there and just pled with the crowd and just pled like, please understand it from my point, please, please. Like, oh my God, like, that was some of the funniest audio I have seen in a long time, and some of the most despicable actions I have ever seen taken by a company.
It was fucking pathetic is what it was.
All over a glass spot, and some little jerk leaning into the monitor saying, "It's real glass, cry me a river."
Right. So, see, and the way I feel about it, this was the 80s. He'd have got his fucking ass whooped for that shit.
If it would have been the 90s, he would have got his ass whipped for the shit.
If it had been 2003, he'd got his ass whooped for that shit.
Yes. They would have kicked that motherfucker out of the locker room. Ask the Miz. For real.
Oh, I know. I love
that. He had so much heat on him. He got kicked out of the locker room. He had to earn everybody's respect back.
Yeah.
And then that's the exact same way that I feel about that little jungle boy, little prick, is that he should be kicked out of the locker room.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be allowed back into any big promotions. He should be blacklisted for acting the way that he acted.
He's a douche nozzle.
Exactly. Tell me what company you could work for. And I mean, I'm not just talking WWE, Impact, AAA, New Japan. I'm not just talking about these companies. I'm talking about seeing some of the local companies that are around here, like Lucha Laugh Libres, and then Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling.
Imagine
you got CSW. Like, what company would let you do any of that childish shit?
Imagine Joe. Shout out to Joey McDougal over at Primo's. Imagine Joe saying that he feared for his life during a backstage altercation. Think about that for a minute. Like, imagine that. We know Joey pretty well. So imagine him. I feared for my life, Ryan.
Oh my God.
It sounds ridiculous just even saying it. Like, bro, you know what? I'm just going to spit it out right now. That's who I asked if he ever feared for his life during a backstage altercation. If we get an answer from him, we'll reveal it on the show. I know he hasn't. I'm just curious as to what his answer is going to be. So.
Oh, I feel you 1,000%. It's like when... Okay, so it's like when you used to have the old shoot matches, like what we were talking about a little bit earlier about when Lex Luger was wrestling Bruiser Brody in a steel cage match, and he didn't, obviously Bruiser Brody didn't like the way that Lex Luger was laying into him, so, he went shoot style, and you could see the whole mark dropped right down on his face, on Lex Luger's face, like, oh shit, I fucked up. Mm-hmm. you don't think when somebody's standing back, waiting in the gorilla spot, waiting to come out for their match, because their match is right next. You don't think they're watching the monitor. You don't think they see all that bullshit that you just leaned into the monitor, said all that bullshit, and we're going to act like the motherfucker wasn't going to address it?
Well, I also don't like the fact that CM Punk was the one that was sent over to him to talk to him, and that he's the one that ends up getting fired. And that's why I also feel like it's a fucking hit job. I just do. I really do. I feel like, because... let's say this is a WWE locker room, and let's say it's 1997, after the fucking screw job. Nobody's pulling that fucking shit. Nobody. Because they all know who they got to answer to back there. The dead man's back there. So, if there's a problem, he's going to sort that shit out between you two niggas. And then you go sit down somewhere and shut your face. Yeah, I just said that word. I apologize for that, but you know what I mean. I'm from the hood and I say all kind of wild stuff. If you listen to hip hop podcasts, I say niggas all the time. But anyway, excuse me. But you know, like if this was the 90s, we're in a WWE locker room, the Undertaker's in the back. Vince McMahon is running the show. None of this foolishness is happening.
Well, let's just say this. If this was the 80s, they would have snorted Jack Perry. Like he was cocaine. They would have snorted his ass. He is my size. I'm 5'10", 170 or 165 pounds.
That's it,
He
bro.
is no bigger than me.
God. Dude, I weighed 199 pounds when I was in high school. That's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying, Jack Perry is not a big guy. And for him to think that he's going to talk to another grown-ass man like some chump, that is not going to work out majority of the time in the person's favor that's trying to treat the other person like a chump. Let's just be honest.
Regardless of how crappy his career was, the man still has MMA experience, so I don't even understand where you thought that was a good idea.
Well, I mean, let's just be real. In real life situations, have you ever grabbed another man by his throat and told him to shut the fuck up?
I did in high school. That was a long time ago. I didn't tell him to shut the fuck up. I told him to cry. Yeah, I did. Anyway. Cry, bitch! Anyway, that's a story for the hip-hop podcast.
See, that's what I mean. Like, you don't think that down on some football field or down on a wrestling mat somewhere, there wasn't some chump little asshole that didn't say something wrong and didn't get grabbed by the throat and told to shut the fuck up once?
Right.
Well, I guarantee you it's happened every single where. In every single high school, in every single college, even in every single pro sport.
I know, right?
That's what most of this stuff is built off of, and it's just hilarious that this is how far people want to take things in 2023.
That's because we live in a world where toxic behavior is celebrated, attention seeking and instant validation is celebrated, and all these actions and things that have happened just lead back to the general poor state of our reality. This isn't the only place that this happens. It's just being publicized because of who's involved. This crap is happening everywhere. People are losing their fucking minds. And it's crazy. But like I said, we're not going to dive too deep into that. We're talking about wrestling. I'm just saying that it mirrors the things that we're having problems with in our own society. The entitlement, like I said, the attention-seeking behavior and all that stuff. It's just typical 2023 bullshit.
And how people, and let's just take this into account also, and how people say they want to work things out, but people don't ever want to work things out.
No.
Like, wasn't there supposed to be, before All In, wasn't there supposed to be a meeting with the Elite and CM Punk, and that was canceled by the Elite?
Yeah, and then, you got to talk about the travel arrangements for Punk and how he got lost trying to get to the venue, and
how he was the only one.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, I feel like it was a hit job, bro. Like, all this stuff, when you add it all up, you go, EVP's cancel meeting, he's asked to do this favor, knowing that he's a hothead, he's the one punished when said favor went left. You know what I mean? Like if you're a conspiracy theorist, you got a lot to work with on this one. You really do. So.
Yeah, because there's so many different angles of what's actually going on in just that company itself. Not that company is just like we were saying earlier. That's the reason why WWE quit giving out big contracts, because they see the product that they put out. They hear about all the BS backstage, more BS that's going on, and they're just like, well, we don't have to compete with it, and they literally don't have to compete with it.
They don't.
Because not one damn bit.
It's a circus. It's literally.
And it is a shame and disgusting that David Metzler, has given more 5-star matches to majority of AEW talent than an actual real gold medalist.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that the truth?
That's a big truth.
Yeah, Dave. What's up with that, bro? Like, come on, dog.
Playing favorites here, or are you just trying not to hurt anybody's feelings?
Oh, well, it's 2023. There's a strong possibility of trying not to hurt anybody's feelings, you know. Like, once again, you know, mirrors the reality we live in. A bunch of... I could talk all night about that. See, like, God. As much as we talk
about all that,
about wrestling, I can sit here and run my mouth about some stuff, man. Good Lord of mercy, but maybe another show at another time. Just not right here, right now, bro. Like, I'm not tainting my wrestling talk with foolishness.
No, exactly, and the plans. Oh, okay. So here I see there's a little article about maybe that was about CM Punk in 2022. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to see if they were talking about him maybe joining the Royal Rumble this year.
That could be.
Is what they are speculating now.
That could be interesting.
That could be interesting, and at the same time, it could be some very different situations going on. So now, now we hear Tony Khan, after he said he was afraid and scared. Now he says that he thanks CM Punk for everything that he has done for AEW.
That was ridiculous.
That was in that. I think that was in that press scrum on Sunday night.
Yeah, man, that was ridiculous.
Yes, because I remember watching some of that press scrum because I was trying to see who would actually come out and actually talk. Which Christian, I thought Christian had the best interview out of anybody on there.
Christian's mic work as a heel right now is impeccable.
Well, he reminds me of a James Bond villain, straight out. And how he said that he doesn't talk about anybody else but him and Luchasaurus, and he doesn't talk about other people. Referring to, obviously, his best friend, one of his best friends, Edge. Was very, very kind of not revealing, but not revealing.
Right.
Making me think more that I don't think if Edge was smart, he wouldn't go to AEW.
No, that place is in shambles.
He doesn't need to.
Low key right now, but if he just wants to be with his best friend, I totally understand.
Yes.
That I get.
And then I'm trying to see what Tony Khan said about Jack Perry's suspension.
I wouldn't be mad at Edge if he jumped ship for being Christian. I also feel like that would give us one more Edge and Christian versus the Hardys match, and we would get some closure on that rivalry too.
I think we already have closure on that rivalry, just in my opinion, just seeing Matt Hardy's work these days. Well, since TNA days, let's just be honest.
Well, like Matt said it recently that he would love for them all to work together one more time before, it's too late. I'm with you.
Oh, I would like to see that also, but at the same time, I just don't think Edge has to do that to his body.
Right.
Where, you know what I mean with some of the, I don't want to say they're stupid stunts, but they're over, like the barricade stuff. That stuff is used so much in AEW, like it is just played out these days. Like, I appreciate it when WWE actually does it once in a great while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like how Mommy did it to KO. That was dope.
Yes.
I was feeling that.
Like
right.
those, I actually take for granted now because how much AEW uses the barricade in the matches in general on a week-to-week or a show-to-show basis. And not even say week-to-week. We'll just go from show to show, from Dynamite to Rampage all the way to Collision. There is so many of them that it is just, it's almost like some almost was like getting like with the step shots in WWE there for a while.
Yeah.
Remember how there was this constant step shots and it just got overplayed, or how people were always putting people's legs in the fucking chairs?
That used to be like a special occasion thing too. Like I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin put Brian Pillman's leg in the damn chair. That shit was crunk. Oh my god. Oh, that was such a wonderful time. And that was when Stone Cold's got a gun.
Yep.
That was awesome. That was great television, man.
That's when they actually could still put more unique storylines out there without people getting super upset.
Yeah.
Unless you're shooting somebody like on that one episode.
And then I was watching an episode of Raw the other night when Triple H was going, and speaking of titillating, and I was like, oh my god. Girls are going to flash the crowd. Oh, could you imagine? In this day and age, that kind of stuff happening? Like, oh my god.
No, yeah, none of that stuff is tolerated at all anymore.
Oh my. Which is so crazy. Like, how are we going backwards? Like, I just don't understand that crap. Anyway, I'm losing focus here, but
No, like, so, like, let's just say this. This is the reason why WWE doesn't have to worry about AEW. Them just bringing Cena back for just that 1 week. I mean, he's going to be back all month long. But
he said a few.
Average,
he said a few months actually. Old Big Match John.
Yeah, he's gonna be back for a little bit. But I mean, this is what I mean. Let's just say this: they averaged 2.443 million viewers on Fox on Friday Night SmackDown, just having John Cena show up.
Which isn't too bad considering the fact that like I don't watch TV like that anymore. I just don't. But
no.
And
I usually record majority of the stuff and fast forward through the commercials or what AEW does with the double, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I DVR it on YouTube TV, so that's kind of how I watch it now. It's just not. I don't really have time to sit down at a certain time for 3 hours and watch anything anymore. I just don't. Like, there's so much stuff to choose from, and that's why like the wrestling business is booming right now. It's awesome, but like TV viewership, is way down. And that's just because people just don't have that kind of time or the attention span, or I don't have the attention span for a 3 hour show. Like, I really don't. Like, when I was in high school, maybe, but now, like, I always end up falling asleep. Like, like, oh my, I can't do it anymore. Like, I remember Nitro was 3 hours, and they used to do so much with those 3 hours. Like, and now I don't feel that.
No, I feel you 1,000% on that. And so what they are saying now, what I just seen is since Tyrus retired from the NWA and ECW EC3. Don't ask me why I was trying to call him ECW3, but EC3 is the champion, and it looks like they might have a match with AEW.
Oh, that'd be pretty awesome because that would help promote the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the real world title. I think that's good.
Yeah. Yes. So that is something that they just brought up about 8 hours ago. So that could be something that could be potentially maybe a pay-per-view event, but we will see how they handle that because we know how they handle some of their matches already. And then you guys are definitely going to have to stay in tune because there's just so much with wrestling going on and so much with everything else that is happening in the industry in general, from AEW to WWE Weekly. And we are going to start getting into some more, we're going to call it pro wrestling legends. And what the pro wrestling legend is, we're going to take one wrestler from a certain decade and highlight them in an hour show. We'll find clips for you guys actually to watch too, and since you guys have links posted in the comments for you guys to watch actual matches of the wrestlers that we enjoyed back before pretty much WWF took over. So this is going to be a lot of territory wrestlers. And if you guys don't know what the territories were, we'll actually break that down in an episode too. We'll have to break that down for them because I don't know if you remember a lot of the territories that actually ran through where you stayed at in Michigan, down here to Colorado, to Minnesota, in Texas, obviously, Memphis, Florida. We already know about everybody out in Vermont and Virginia with the WWF at that point in time. And the main ones, AWA, Jim Crockett Promotion, NWA, which is still a promotion till this day.
It's been around about 75 years now, still.
Yep, it's been around for a very, very long time. We'll get you guys, because we know that there's going to be the wrestling fans that want to know about the wrestling history. We know that there's wrestling fans that are just out there wondering what's going on in the week-to-week basis of wrestling. We know there's all kinds of different wrestling fans, and we want to try to cater to all of you.
Yeah, we know there's some Nick Gage fans out there. We know there's Undertaker fans out there. We know there's fans of all walks of life and all disciplines of the business, so we're trying to cover everything. There's just so much. And, we're supposed to go over a few more things. And this is hard not to talk about the CM Punk situation. What did you think of the Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura match? I really enjoyed that one. That was awesome.
I enjoyed it. I was happy that Seth retained. I think that they could kind of almost reminded me of the Ring of Honor days.
Yeah. Definitely.
To be honest with you.
Definitely.
Just because the way the match was set up and the way that they both sold with each other which was really nice. I really enjoyed this. Everybody's the sells of the moves is what I really enjoyed. And especially at the very end, like I said, the barricade shots overused in some promotions, but when some promotions use them, we don't take them for granted anymore. We actually enjoy the spots that they're getting and taking in. Ooh. Hold on. Sorry, guys. You guys are going to get me on the travel, too, today.
I'm dead. I was all confused. I was like, who the fuck's getting in a car right now? And I was like, yeah. God.
Oh, shit. There we go. So we don't get no sports radio.
I'm fucking
But no. Like we were saying, this entire CM Punk situation has just been interesting from front to back just because no one really knows what they're getting into, if you know what I mean, with everything that's been going on and these supposed investigations that have taken place and these supposed committees that are now supposedly have been in place. Is that what Tony said, wasn't it?
That shit ain't been in place. That fool fronting like Pharrell and Jay-Z was in that video 20 years ago.
Yeah, like I don't know if there was one word out of that entire speech I took serious. I'm not gonna lie to you on that. I don't know if I couldn't take any of that serious. He made himself look like a child.
That fool looked like a sheepish choir boy. That's what he looked like.
Exactly. He looked like he was. Boy, and he looked like he didn't want to try to make anybody mad. And it's like, come on, bro, you just fired somebody. Obviously, some people are going to be mad. You know what I mean?
I'm not real happy about it, you know. Like I fuck with CM Punk. Like, but he came back in August of 2021. That was one of the loudest pops I've ever. People were crying in the crowd. That was so awesome, and I was so happy. And ever since then, it's just been,
Well, I mean, what would they really do with the guy? They gave the guy the belt. They let him have his little, I mean, I wouldn't even say they really even gave him a real title run, to be honest with you.
No,
because it seemed like right after he won the title, like not even a month or 2 months later, he was already getting suspended.
Well, he got hurt, remember? He got fucking... The first time they put the strap on him, he got hurt. So then the second time they put the strap on him was the fucking media scrum last year. Shit. So now he comes out with the X on the title because he never lost the shit, and then this silly ass shit happens.
That's true, because he never really lost the title. That's the reason why he threw the X on it.
He never
tried to make it the straight edge title.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I don't know, like that. Like I said, that entire situation has played itself almost into a corner, if you know what I mean.
It has. It's wild, bro. It really is.
Because there's so many different opinions on what's going on and what's happened that have they released anything else out from the investigation itself? Do you know?
I haven't seen anything official. I just, just a statement Tony Khan released about it. This investigation committee, bro.
Yeah,
The
only thing that I've seen is
the committee
little parts of the media scrum, him talking about it, and obviously the 7-minute fucking jabberfest that he had in the beginning of Collision.
Well, fucking, the committee's fucking Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks with Hangman Adam Page. That's the fucking committee. So he had to go talk to them, and all them fools voted unanimously to fire CM Punk. And he was like, okay, I'll keep you guys happy. And then he went and fired that fool. That was literally it. He didn't make that fucking decision. Somebody else did. And he just executed. And that's literally it.
Yeah, that's all he did was just pretty much go with what everybody else was saying like usual.
And they all wanted him out because CM Punk's a bigger star than all of them. He can sell more merchandise than all of them. He could wrestle better than all of them. So he was a threat, and so they had to get rid of him. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I still feel like it was a flipping hit job, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. And I was gonna say when you were talking about that straight edge title a little while ago. I mean, maybe straight edge isn't working for him. Maybe that fool needs to smoke a fucking blunt and calm his motherfucking ass down and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I just don't know. Like, well, I'm not back there in the locker room. Obviously, you can tell when he wasn't picked up from the airport for All In. Obviously, no fans had anything bad to say about the guy.
Right.
Not one damn person posted a thing on Twitter or Instagram or anything. Everyone was posting happy pictures like, oh shit, we're having CM Punk trying to get to his hotel. This is fucking crazy.
Right. And it was. How would you feel? You showing up somewhere and this fool is there. Phillip Brooks is fucking lost. And you're like, oh shit, look who it is. You know, like that's just fucking crazy. You know, if they're WWE guys,
are Buck fans.
Right. Crazy. And I was thinking like if they're WWE wrestlers, they're taken everywhere. They would have been lost. There'd have been a ride there for them at the airport. Somebody would have been holding up a sign with somebody's fucking name on it. You know, like all that shit would have been taken care of. He wouldn't have had to worry about crap. And see, those are things that I think that he was thinking about in that fucking. He's like, this goddamn 2-ring fucking circus bullshit, and I can't even get to the arena because nobody told me how to get there. This is fucking bullshit. You know, like if I was still working for the other guys, they'd have had a ride for me, and I wouldn't have to worry about none of this shit. And I totally feel that crap. I really do. Like,
they definitely would have had a ride for him there. It wouldn't have been a 2-ring circus that he's running with, and maybe he's just realized. Maybe he realized that day, these guys are not a real company. This is not a real company. They just pay us checks just to show up and fucking do nothing, pretty much.
yeah.
And that's what it kind of seems like with some of these guys.
A fool might be done. I mean, at the age that he's at, and him trying to go somewhere else, and I mean, it would be really nice for a CM Punk Cody Rhodes match for the WWE Universal. I mean, there'd be a lot of shit that could be done, but I feel like his door is quickly closing. He already spent 7 years off away from the business, and in the 2 years he's been back, he hasn't really done anything because he's been off more than he's been on. So it would make sense for him to ride off in the sunset right now. Like it really would. Like he could disappear into obscurity and never be heard from again. But I don't think that's who he is. And I think something's going to develop in the next 3 to 6 months. We're going to see something develop. And you know, this 1 year no compete clause. He's probably going to try to sue his way out of it, which I would. I mean, goddamn, 1 year no compete's fucking ridiculous. Especially in this line of work.
Yeah, and if he ends up taking that to court and he wins that lawsuit, if that's really true, what happens, if that's really true, a lot of these wrestlers will start fucking doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of sitting home, having to sit home for 3 months after their contract ends with WWE or AEW or Impact or any of the major ones that are still out there right now at this point in time that people watch. I could see that happening very, very fast. And I don't know, a no contract, a clause for an entire year Like,
That's
I could see
fucking
30
ridiculous.
days, I could see maybe a month, I could see 2-3 months, maybe max. But in a year, like, come on now, you gotta be you gotta be shitting me there.
Well, my thing about that is, it's just, it's ridiculous. Like the whole situation is fucking unreal, and like, it's unprecedented. But my thing is, his contract didn't end; it was terminated. So I don't feel like a no compete clause should apply in this situation. I really don't. But
I don't think you should apply to that either, especially
you
if you're
terminated my
terminated
contract.
from your job.
Right, I got
And I
fired.
mean, you were terminated from 2 positions. You were terminated as a wrestler and terminated as an employee.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just depends on what they look at that side also. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, okay, well, the character CM Punk can't wrestle,
Right.
but it doesn't mean Phil Brooks can't go back and wrestle for a year underneath different, trademark clause, whatever the hell you want to call it. Kind of like when WWE tried to steal Abyss from TNA when Abyss was super hot.
Mm-hmm.
And Abyss turned him down because he wanted to stay loyal to the company that gave him the chance to start in the first place.
Right.
We all know that he would have came into WWE with a little bit of a different name. I don't know if the outfit would have changed a lot, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Fucking facts.
But I could see the exact same thing. I could see lawyers trying to pull the same thing on CM Punk and make him try to come back to WWE as Phil Brooks or Pepsi Phil.
Right. Pepsi Phil.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then, where the hell has Dan Housing been for the last year? I know someone said that he had surgery on his back or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But where the hell has he been at?
I don't know, man. Could be hurt.
Because last year he was the top selling guy for merchandise for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy.
He was the top guy, and the next thing you know, gone. You're gone. Like, shit happens that way.
Yeah, and I just don't know what. I wondered what happened to the guy. Like, I haven't seen him on any television at all, or on any of his vlogs or anything that he does. You know what I mean?
Right. That's very.
And I enjoy him.
Mm-hmm.
He's an idiot, but I enjoy him.
Mm-hmm. I'm dead.
I enjoy shit like that.
Oh my god. Oh man, this has been an interesting show. It really has. It's just like, it's just been an interesting week of professional wrestling. Period. Like, it's drama here, drama there, good in-ring action there. It's just been a whirlwind of events, and we're gonna continue covering them. We're still gonna be on here talking shit about everything and diving into it. And excuse me, had a little indigestion. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you guys leave us suggestions and comments. Make sure you guys subscribe and like. There's urban legend wise, people don't like wrestlers that people do like but shouldn't like. Things like that. I mean, there's millions of lists that we could do and millions of things we could talk about. Pro wrestling is never ending. Honestly,
The story never ends. It's just a new chapter.
Exactly. Kind of like what's going on right now with We'll see what the new chapter brings tomorrow for AEW coming up on Wednesday night.
Yes, indeed. I'd like to take a night here soon and do a bloodline deep dive and stuff, and talk about the impact of long-term storytelling and where that story's gonna go. And so we're gonna have a show about that here real soon, because I think it's awesome. But we're gonna talk about it. So.
Oh yeah, there's millions of things that we're gonna end up talking about, and things that we're just kind of throwing in there, throwing in discussions within discussions, just because a lot of this stuff can relate to each other in the wrestling business. If you guys don't realize that, like the Montreal screw job wasn't the first screw job. There was a screw job before that.
Yeah, it sure was.
There's been a couple of them actually, and a lot of the ribbing that goes on backstage and the audio wants to give our opinions on it. Like today we were watching top 10 hated wrestlers, and there was some on there that we knew and some that we didn't.
Some I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
And they have to accept is these guys put their bodies and their heads and their minds and their soul thing through hell doing this business just to make it to the top, or not even to see the top. And it is crazy how some of the guys end up, and it's crazy how some of them end up being like Hulk Hogan and Joey Ryan, and that's just naming a couple of them that are just popped into my head that are just yeah, those guys, if you know what I mean.
Oh wow. It says AEW is expecting a response from CM Punk over this release, and that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Excuse me. Excuse me. Man, I can't wait to see what happens here in the next few weeks, and we're gonna be right on top of it when it does happen.
Yes, we will have every little insight that we can get.
Well, you got anything else for us, boss?
Sorry about that. In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, no, you're actually starting to cut out a little bit.
Are we good now?
Yeah, there you are. Technology, I tell you, right?
All right. Yes. Technology is a motherfucker.
Indeed it is, my young friend. So, man, what else you got for us, old man?
Let's just... Well, we already talked about majority of the situations going on and what we're going to believe might happen. So I guess we just got to stay tuned for... see what happens on NXT tonight and see what happens on Dynamite tomorrow, and then you guys will be in touch. We'll be in touch with you guys soon. So give you guys our reviews on that and see where the direction of AEW is going to go after the termination of Punk.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how things turn out. So we're going to be on top of it. We'll be giving you the latest news as we have been for the last, but it's been about 10 days. We got 14 subscribers. Thank you to those 14 subscribers. We hope to increase those numbers as quickly as possible, which we will. But you gotta start somewhere. So here we are, and don't forget to tune into the Devin the Blessing show. Anywhere you can find a podcast, just Google Devin the Blessing. It'll definitely come up for you, I swear. And we love you. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and we will be talking to you soon. This is Slave to Wrestling out.
You must be sleeping under a rock or something.